bad thing about marrying Frankenstein is that I have to worry about paying all of these bills every time he wrecks the door in the house. Hey everyone, this is Rabbitearsblog and welcome to another in-theater movie review series. So today's movie I'll be reviewing today is Netflix's reboot movie, The Munsters. And before I get into my thoughts about this film, here are a few words from the channel. Alright everybody, it's time to get on the social media train. Want to chat with me in 100 words or less? Then check out my Twitter account. Want to talk about movies, TV shows, and video games within the group? Then check out my Facebook account. Want to check out some of my ultra cool fan art? Then check out my DeviantArt page. Want to get the lowdown on everything that's happening on this channel? Then check all of the above. And now, we return to our regularly scheduled program. So The Munsters is a film directed by Rob Zombie, and it's a reboot of the original 1960s TV series. And it's basically about how Herman and Lily got together and how they moved from Transylvania to Hollywood. So before I get into my thoughts about this movie, I wanted to let you guys know that we are close to hitting 600 subscribers for this channel. So we have about 20 more subscribers to go before we hit 600 subscribers on this channel. And once we hit 600 subscribers, I would do a special live Q&A video for you guys. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to do it on YouTube or if I'm going to do it on Twitch. But I will have a poll set up for you guys about whether or not I should do the live show on YouTube or Twitch once we get close to 600 subscribers. So if you really enjoy the content on this channel, please feel free to subscribe to this channel so we can reach up to 600 subscribers by the end of this year. And now let's get back to the review of this movie. So before I get into my thoughts about this movie once again, I want to let you guys know about my history with The Munsters as a franchise. So I actually grew up watching the original 1960s Munsters TV series, and I always really enjoyed that show, especially since the monsters themselves always act like normal human beings even though they're monsters, and I just love how their characters are portrayed. And when I heard that they were going to make a reboot movie for The Munsters, I will admit that I was a bit hesitant about it because there's been numerous attempts in the past to revive the Munsters franchise, but it was never that successful. So enter 2022 where we finally get a reboot movie of The Munsters. And what are my thoughts about this movie? Well, I have to say that it's okay. So let's talk about what I did like about this movie first. So what I did like about this movie was the fact that it retained the campiness from the original 1960s TV series. The original 1960s Munsters TV series was pretty campy in nature, and I like how this film was able to retain that campiness from the original 1960s series and were able to add it into this reboot film. And I just love how the characters of Herman, Lily, and her father were being portrayed in this movie, as they were very funny characters, and I just love how campy they were throughout this movie. So I really enjoyed the campiness of this film. Another thing that I really liked about this film was the style of the film. Now, to be honest, I've never seen a Rob Zombie film before, but I've heard a lot of things about Rob Zombie's films. Like I heard about how his films tend to have a music video vibe to it because he was formerly a director of many music videos. And another thing I heard about Rob Zombie's movies is that they tend to be very controversial. So I will admit that The Munsters is my very first Rob Zombie film that I've ever seen, and it seems pretty tame compared to his other works. But anyway, in regards to the fact that Rob Zombie's films tend to have a music video vibe to it, I do see a lot of it here in this movie, and I think it brings a lot of creativity to this movie, and it made this movie really stand out from every other horror comedy that I've seen over the years. I just love how colorful the world that Herman and Lily lives in, and I just love seeing the surreal look of the film itself. I especially love the scenes where the characters have these expressions like they're falling in love or something like that, and the background changes to express how they feel in that moment. Like, for example, if a character falls in love, then you see lots of hearts popping up in the background expressing their love, and I really enjoyed that stylistic choice for this movie. Now, here's some issues that I do have with this movie. So the first major issue that I have with this movie is that this movie is very tedious most of the time. Like, there were many scenes that were very slow for me, and this movie spends most of its time with the characters just talking about random things, and I often found myself to be very bored with this movie, especially since I was expecting this film to have a bit more horror comedy to it or a bit more action to it, but it doesn't have a lot of action to it, and it doesn't have enough surreal humor for me to make this movie stand out for me in terms of horror comedies. Another issue that I have with this film is that sometimes the camera angles tend to be a bit disorientating. Like, there were times where a scene would zoom in on a character's face for no reason, or there were times where the camera angle just tilts over to the left or to the right for no reason, and I found those camera angles to be very distracting when I was watching this movie. But overall, I give the Munsters a skim it. Even though this movie was a bit too tedious for me to watch, and some of the camera angles were a bit too disorientating for me, I do appreciate the fact that this movie maintained the campiness from the original 1960s TV series, and I also love the style of this movie as it's very colorful and surreal at the same time, and it really made this movie stand out from a lot of other horror comedy films. But if you really enjoy the original 1960s Munsters series, then you might enjoy this film. However, if you've never seen the original 1960s Munsters TV series, or you don't care much for Rob Zombie's films, you might not like this movie. So that's my review on the Munsters movie, and tell me in the comments down below, have you seen the Munsters? And if you have, did you like the movie? Did you hate the movie? And what was your favorite movie that was based off a TV series? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbitearsblog, and I'll see you guys later. Hey guys, like this video? If you want to check out more crazy content from this channel, then please hit that big old colorful subscribe button. And if you are feeling extra generous, then please support me through Patreon so I can make more awesome content for this channel.